So after all these years of us doing this, we figure, why don't we go ahead and put a cab lift video on. Everything it takes to raise a cab. Everything we do to raise a cab. Some people don't do as much, some people probably do more. There you go. Not all of them run. So it's about 4 rungs on the diamond tread right there for us. Something should be about like that. Do is double checking. There you go, relax. Now the drive shaft doesn't have a bunch of big ink, doesn't have torque on it. So, where we go now? Could you call this step 1? Getting it in the bay was step 1. How about that? Game on, let's go. Put some fender skirts and get the light up. Now let's evac the AC. Now when you take off the shredder valves is a real good time. You'll get a little hiss if it leaks. The shredder valves, in my opinion, are the worst money spending feature on an AC kit would be shredder valves. I don't know how many times trucks have came in, all the AC, all the Freon's gone because the shredder valve's leaking. Quick and easy, change it right now. We tend to change all shredder valves every job, every time. Let's make it happen. Some trucks, depending on your height, will fit the 5-gallon bucket underneath the valance right here. Don't try to get it under there if it doesn't fit, because all you're going to do is spill the coolant out whenever it goes. If it does not fit under there, grab it into the drink can. Here we go. Coolant is disgusting. Let's make sure we try to contain it. This coolant has about 120 miles on it, so we're going to reuse it. Okay, a little piece of 3/8, maybe 5/16. I think it's 3/8. There you go. Crack it open. Now, it's not going to be perfect. It'll still leak out, but you can catch some of it, and it won't splash as bad in the drain pan. If you have a 5-gallon bucket, you don't need to. See that? Just let it go, just like that. This does have power seats, so I let the coolant drain and the AC evac while we take the interior apart, because I do not want to take the batteries loose and not be able to move the seats. We can leave everything in the door panels, but everything in the floorboard, the back floorboard, and behind the seat has got to go. You got to have it all gone. We'll put everything out of the truck into a box and it can be gone through later. Recovered 0.55. It should have 1.19, so it was half full. So when I did say the air worked, it was a little low. Those 03, 04 headlights with that little fixture right there are a pain in the butt to get back right. 03, 04, well, some 03s, 04s have Phillips, right? Most of them are 5.5s. There's clips, and on this one, 03, 04, we have to get it from the bottom. 05 and up, we do not get it from the bottom. You get it right here from the top, but you can pull that up and pull it out by hand. Now, stick your hand down there, you'll figure it out. There's a little tab you can pull. It hurts to do. See this little tab right here? Now, normally I would do it with the bumper off because it's 1,000 times easier, but I got caught up in it. Look, just push that up and it comes loose, right at the bottom. Now, this is only 03, 04. 05, you get it from the top. Watch, push that up and pull it out. Look, it comes off. Now, we can run the UV light and make sure the condenser is good. That's all I wanted to do right now. Now this is where, see, it's parts like this where the tonneau cover comes in handy. This is not going to hurt that tonneau cover. The problem is there's dirt on it. So I don't want to put the moving blanket on top of the tonneau cover and wind up scratching it all up. So now this is where jobs take forever, because now all of a sudden I'm trying to take the cab off, but now I want to make sure this tonneau cover is clean so I can set a moving pad on it and set all this light stuff. Nobody's ever going to be walking around on top of the tonneau cover, so if you're going to take your truck apart, you need to figure places to put things so they're not in the way in the future for the rest of the whole job. Now this grill will inevitably go back on the truck before the cab goes up. So I just want a temporary place to put it so it's out of the way. If you don't put your stuff in places that's out of the way, your job is going to be an absolute disaster and you'll never get anything done and you'll walk around tripping over stuff. Don't do that. Nice and safe. Most everybody knows how to take these off, but there's a retainer here that pops it into the plastic here, and there's another one here that snaps into this plastic. The rest of them, there's one here, I think here, here, and here. So get under there and be careful, okay? Just work it a little bit, because I don't know how many of these are broken. Don't get in a hurry with it. See, just walk your way down it. It's not a big deal. Now most people will just grab it. I've been guilty of doing it too. Just grab it and rip it off. That's fine, yeah. Most of the time you'll be fine doing that. But I like to go around and show every single one. Didn't break a single one. Awesome. Now we wash these, soap and water in the sink, clean it before it actually gets put back in the truck. So these go in a pile somewhere, and then they're gonna all get scrubbed and cleaned before they go back in. See how dirty it is? Now when you go through and you expose all this, we shop vac all that out too, but don't get the shop vac out until you get the seats out. Okay, take the other side out, get the floor mat out, get everything out of here. At it. While we're at it, pop these out too. Once again, take your time because they do get broke. Those lips right there is what locks into this. So not only are you trying to get these out, but we also need to get these. And they do come out. You don't need to worry about squeezing it together. Just be careful popping it out. Now on this, it's already recovered, but it's not vacuumed all the way. So even though we're taking it apart, I would still pull another hard vacuum. Pull another hard vacuum, hold it down at about 29. That's about the best you're gonna get. And let's just see, while we're doing this other stuff on the job, if it holds all the way down to 29 inches of mercury. Okay, this one gets a little, there's a push pin right here, a lock-in retainer. Well, that's a push pin. There's a lock-in retainer right here, and there's another one down here, and it will discolor it as you pull it out. And honestly, I haven't found a bet there. I mean, you can pry on it, but then you wind up with dents on the side. So what I do to get this push pin out, grab this right here. Watch, just grab it, put your purse down, and pull it. There you go. You got the whole thing. Now grab it down here. Ready? Oh yeah, see, this is where it gets a little hairy. Here we go. Right there. Okay, I pushed that one out. Now I got to get this one out. Now we want to go straight. Right there. And it came out. Look at that. I didn't break it. Awesome. Okay. Neither one of them broke. Now I tell you, that does not happen all the time. All right, same thing on the other side. Grab it. Okay, right there. I got the push pin out. It's the same thing right here. Get your hands under it. Pull it out. Got them both in. None of them broke. Awesome. Okay, so this is what I use for all the fasteners for the seats. Just a little impact. These, now this is 04. They are all, I think they're all the same, but the seat bolts get different. Right there. So did you see how easy that came out? Yeah, don't do that by hand. You'll be here all freaking day trying to get that done by hand. Just put the impact on it, let her eat. You can pull the seat belt slack so that this is not hanging on the ground. Do that, it gets in the way. Okay, now another little tip is don't set your grimy freaking tools down on the carpet. Yeah, don't do that. Tools are nasty. All right, what is this? I don't even remember. It is a Torx Plus 55. You could probably get away with a Torx. That might not even be a Torx Plus. Yeah, it's Torx Plus. Looks like a Torx 50. It fits really good. So I'm gonna call that a Torx Plus 55. T55, TP55. Now this is what I was talking about, why you don't disconnect the batteries before doing the interior. It's power seats. Anybody tried to take these bolts out of the back with no power? They're almost impossible. So if you have power seats, make sure you get these off. Okay, if these do not go back on good, now they're a little metal ring, okay? It's not gonna come off very good. We're just gonna try to play with it in real time right here because most of, oh my goodness, I think I got it.
Yep, you did.
No freaking way. I've never gotten those, well, very, very rarely. 18. Oh, don't let it fall around, get the carpet all dirty. Put the Torx Plus back on. Put the seat back. Right now, since it's not hooked up, you see under there? We pull the harness off. So make sure that you unlock it. Sometimes I use a screwdriver. Right there. That way that stays on the seat. See how it's still locked on? They get broke all the time. Unhook that. Don't scratch the body of the truck. The seat's going right back in. So we only want to set it right there. Look, now we'll vacuum. This is a very, very clean truck. There are times we'll spend 30 minutes vacuuming. Hour vacuuming. So we'll keep track of all these. And the cover. That's all our stuff. Do the same thing on the other side. That one was loose. Oh, there's another one. Here we go. Let's get this out. Done deal. Now we'll go back to the 18s and try to pry that off again. Here we go. No way it's gonna come off. Now these seriously, these are parts that do not, I mean, oh my goodness, how is that possible? Okay, Joe, you'll get these back. Because if that ring comes out inside of there, see how it's like molded around it, and very, very easy to pull that ring out of there. If that ring pulls out, it's done. I don't even try to put it back on. We're not even, because all it's gonna do is fall off and bounce around the cab as life goes on. No. If they go back on, fine. If they don't, throw them away. Now try to hold it with both hands. Oh, see, look, I pulled it out. See that? That means it wasn't locked in all the way. There it goes. Look at that. It locked on good. Well, that's a bummer. This jack's gone. Okay, these bolts right here, Julie's gonna pry on the bottom because the ferrules that are inside the cab that these thread into will spin almost every single time. So what we're gonna do is pry on the bottom while I hit it with the big impact. Okay, it's an 8mm fastener. It's a M6x1 thread, and I'm gonna hit it with 1,400 foot-pounds of reversing torque. So here we go. Sometimes they come right out, no problem. Sometimes you fight them like heck. Here we go, pry hard, you ready? Mm-hmm. Yep, see, it spun, it spun. So it spun. The ferrule is spinning inside the cab, pry. You have to pry it hard. You have to pry it hard. And they don't always come out. All right, it's Monday. We forgot to turn the air compressor on. We opened the valve, but didn't turn on the compressor. So hopefully it didn't hose us on this one fastener right here, but maybe. We're gonna get a little air so we can hit hard. We're gonna have to break it. It's probably gonna have to break. Let's see, because they just, you can't get to the bottom either. It's down in the ferrule, up inside of a runner on it. I've tried. Here we go. Yeah, pry hard. You're not prying hard enough. Harder. Break it. Go get a bigger bar. Okay, now I'm not gonna lie, these are a pain in the butt. They are. Let's see what happens. Here we go. Oh, it's not even spinning it. Okay, so I'm gonna show you up close what it is doing. It's the ferrule spinning. It's not stripped. Watch, you can see a little bit of the fastener. See it? I'm on it. It's just spinning the ferrule. The ferrule is so loose inside of there that it won't even come out. So the only way you're gonna get it, you can either cut it, the bottom of the bolt, which is freaking ridiculous. We're not gonna do that. Or what I found, honestly, just pry up on it and keep spinning. Eventually that ferrule will get caught in a bind inside of the cab and the bolt will come out. Or it will melt the plastic away from the bolt because it gets so hot and then it'll come out. But either way, it's gotta come out because there's a cab bolt under it. Oh, I gotta push down and try. There it goes. I was too timid. I should have just kept going. Okay, now we're gonna get down and get on this one. Same thing. Here we go. Came right out. Okay, let's see if this one comes out. Here you go. Nope. Okay, that one's stuck. Okay, so this last one, we're gonna try to pry up on it, and it's gonna be the same as this. Pull it hard. Here, you pull the trigger and I'll pull. There we go. It almost melted through it. See it? It pretty much did melt. We gotta hurry up, get it out before that plastic cools, because it will cool that bolt down in there. Let's get it out. That's what the ferrule looks like that's down inside of there, and they spin. They just spin inside of it. There's not much you're gonna be able to do. See how we messed that all up? So we can throw a washer on it, and most of the time they'll tighten down just fine. It's getting them out is the pain in the butt. So had to throw another washer on it when we put it back together, but we got the box out, got the box moved, and where the cab mounts is right there. So you cannot, I mean, unless you cut a hole in the box, which that's freaking ridiculous, we'll take the box out. Okay, you will kind of mess up the carpet a little bit. Not if you don't leave it there too long. So I just prop it up right there. Put the screwdriver in it, go backwards and pop it up. No big deal. Boom, there you go. Now we'll take these out and clean them, pop the bolts out. Not all of them have this. Cat's knocking stuff over. You take this one out, this little plastic screw. Now you can lift it up without tweaking the carpet to get the impact on that one. I already tweak it a little bit where it's mounted to the seat right here by doing this, but it doesn't hurt it. As long as you lift the carpet up, take the bolt out and put the carpet back down, no damage will be done. This one's a lot easier. Just pull the carpet up, and like I said, trying to get those out, just run a screwdriver along it, flip it over, get it behind it, pop it up. Comes out easy. And then put the carpet back until we're ready to take the bolt out. Leave the carpet down, otherwise it gets memory. Don't forget about these, because you will rip this out. And see, we need it all out. Look how much the carpet needs to move to get to that. I lift this whole thing up. Just go down, drop it up. Now put all the carpet back. Don't forget to make this relax and lay underneath the vents. Do that, otherwise it'll have memory, and when you go to try to put it back together, it will never go back. There'll be a fold right there. So it's important to let this stuff stay relaxed in its how it was, just like this right here. That's perfect. There's nothing wrong with that. That is not dismembering, disfiguring, any of it. You can vacuum it off, we'll put it back, and it'll look absolutely as good as new. It's holding air. So if you hit this too hard, if you hit that too hard, you will break the radiator. 15/16 on the driver's side, 13/16 on the passenger. They're not always real tight, but use the biggest impact you got. It ain't worth messing around. The Loctite that's on a cab mount, I have never ever in my life heard of a cab falling off of a truck. Never. So I want to be able to take them in and out and not let rust form everywhere, because if you let the rust form, then the rust goes onto the threads of it, and then it just keeps spreading it. You'll never get rid of it. So the best bet is to try to eliminate as much as you can. Now right here, see how I'm tweaking this? These are the only bolts that hurt the carpet. See, that was kind of hard to get out. It don't need to be that hard to get out. That's one. Go. Okay, that's why we had to take the box loose, so we can scoot it over. I showed you that a minute ago. No, I don't use an extension. I used to, but you can turn it that way. We cover the seat with a moving pad. I really like to see the bolt as it's going though. That dropped the cab mount out. All right, this is what the bottom looks like when it spins. It pushes it down so it doesn't engage. It's a hex here that goes up into an acceptor on the top of the cab mount. So if it pushes down, it kind of turns it. Julie's up top, right? I gotta push it up. Don't push down so hard. Okay, right there, hold it up. Now hit it. Okay, that's why I would normally say put grease on these bolts when you put them back together. I've never had a cab fall off, and if it does, well then, sorry about your luck. But right now, my freaking goodness, it finally came out. Did it come out? So once again, put it all back, put the carpet back in there so it doesn't have memory of being folded up wrong. All right, now it's 13/16 on the other side. I mean, in a perfect world, you won't drape the hose across, the truck that you're working on. You know what, let's just make this a long cut. See how long it actually takes? Okay, now when you do that, you need to push down for a little bit. Push down on the impact, make sure it stays on the bolt, but then once it starts unthreading, you need to lift up on the impact. Otherwise, it will push that cab mount like the last one just did. It will push it out down to the bottom. Some of them can't be helped. Others, if you lift up on it, it will not spin the cab mount out of the bottom. Good shot. Okay, there's another one. Right there, push this back. Okay, this little fold, see that? It likes to fold down in there. Don't do that. It will leave a line on it. And then your carpet will be all messed up forever. So make sure to not leave that all folded up funky just because you were in a hurry to get the cab off. This one, no light. It's gonna be dark. This one has the jack bracket. Let's get it in there and yeah, we still do that. Passenger seat bolts. That pretty much, other than shop vacuuming and cleaning up all the trim, we're gonna do that right now. That concludes this. Sometimes if they're ridiculously dirty, I'll get the hose out. We'll take the center jump seat out, and if your carpet is all like really bad, when there's no trim on it, go ahead and take all the rubber off. And I've done it before, just spray it. There's a natural low point right here. So you can soak all of this, and then shop vac the heck out of it. I mean, it's basically like a massive shampoo. Now this truck, nowhere near is dirty enough for that, but I've done it to a lot of them where the carpet's disgusting, and you can just scrub it, get the hot water with the garden hose and let it flow out everywhere. And when it's done, after you're done shop vacuuming, it will be a night and day difference on that carpet. Just by water. I mean, if you want, you can throw a little soap on it and scrub, but this one is not dirty enough. If yours is that bad, I would say honestly, get the freaking hose out and start scrubbing it with a scrub brush. Now let's clean it up. We are really not going to show all of that. By the way, we also ultrasonic all this stuff, clean it all up. It'll look brand new. I don't know how many times you guys get to clean out the tray from behind the seat, but might as well do that too. We'll get all this stuff done too. But we do clean it. That looks good. Looks brand new. Blow it out. This is how I would do dishes at home. Blow it off, clean it up. No use in having all that water on there. Okay, I'm not getting all crazy with it, but we do take a scrub brush, and when this truck is done, I want Joe to get in this truck and it's running good and clean. Because the amount of investment, you might as well have at least a clean truck. What, set the seats in? When you set it back in, set it on the stud. There's only one stud to hold it. Kind of helps to keep it in place. But this is how we, before we disconnect the batteries, we get everything, all that's been cleaned. The interior is ready for reassembly. So that's how I want to go venture forward from this point. Want the interior done, we'll roll the windows up, and then we can disconnect the batteries and we need no more power. We've done it 100 times, have to hook it all back up so we can roll the windows up, so we can move the seats. So I just showed you, make sure that you do the interior, get done with the power, then we can move on. So it's probably been about an hour and a half, 2 hours, has not moved a bit. So we turn the lights off and preemptively go look around. Wow, the video makes it look really weird. Look around for any kind of leak points. If we don't see any, we'll carry on. So at this point, go ahead and turn it back on, even though we vacuumed it twice. We'll start it again and vacuum it. And at that point, this top line is the one you gotta take off, right here. So what I call impact it. Spin it and then slam it on there. Now you like it or not, it'll work. See that? Okay, pull that off. Now remember, it's vacuuming right now. So, pop it off. That ensures, now we'll stop it and shut it off. We're done. That ensures that if you vacuum this truck down and you disconnect the hoses and put the AC machine up before you disconnect one of the connections, you've done it 100 times, it will regenerate. And when you take that off, if it's not under vacuum and pulling vacuum, it very well could blow Freon out everywhere. It doesn't take a lot to make a huge mess. So I always put it on vacuum, make sure it's all the way evacuated, make sure it's holding vacuum, and then I turn the vacuum back on while I take the connections apart. So I'm going to keep these bolts, and at this point, go ahead and turn that one off too. Those are the only two AC connections that you have to disconnect. Is the top one at the accumulator and the top one on the condenser, both lines that go to the compressor. You disconnect that, pull this up here, you got to kind of tweak it a little bit. Pull that up there, we put our caps on it, See, you got a little cap to go here, and then another cap to go here that goes down inside of it. Plug it all up. We're gonna try, even though I think we might want to go ahead and put a new accumulator on it, but I will put the nuts back on these. We bag most everything else, but these right there, that's done. Now on this one, there's a little clamp here. Come look at this clamp. Of course, it's almost always on the bottom. Let me see. Okay, that little bit, you can lift that top up and then clamp it out and just pull it apart. Don't forget to take this off. He's also missing, there's a cover that goes over the connections right here on the condenser. There's a plastic cover that hooks down here and it covers this whole thing. He does not have that. So right now we're gonna pull this out. Let's go ahead and take the lines off because all of the vacuum or pressure, whichever one, they're both released. So we'll pull this out real quick and then I'll take this off. You gotta kind of tweak it a little bit to get it out of that line. Normally I would take the wind deflector off. But at this point, we'll just go ahead and put this blue one in here. We've got these little caps. Goes right in there, golden, done. We'll never have to touch it again. And then we'll put another cap on this one right here and be good. All right, while you're at it, don't forget to roll up the freaking windows. When we power wash and everything gets all nasty, batteries are still hooked up. We have not touched under the hood yet, so get everything rolled up, get it all done. As of right now, we are done in the cab. Does that work? Mm-hmm. Okay, here you go. We'll take this hose off, and now I'm gonna keep this with this big old coolant jug. Just move it right over here right now and grab some WD-40 and a 7 DeWalt. Okay guys, this factory clamp right here, it's a 7mm. If it's a 7 and it has that indention in it, like that on the threads, do not try to loosen that up all by itself. It doesn't take much. Just throw a little in it, just a little, spray it up there, and then put some back here on the bottom. That's it. We could go ahead and get that wet too so that it'll unthread. That's all it takes. You do that. Now, I have not tried this yet. Let's see what happens, because it should loosen right up. Okay, now that looks like nothing. That's like not a big deal, but you try that without WD-40 on your own truck, and then I tighten it up a little bit right there, because I will clean the entire hose in the ultrasonic with the clamp on it. That way it cleans the clamp. Oh, I don't care about the hose, but I want to clean the clamp, so that's why we use that in ultrasonic. Now, got a little black drain pin under here to catch the WD-40 so it doesn't get in. And now we're going to do this, and this is going to be disgusting. I think I'll get a funnel. Let's get a funnel. Okay, this is going to be a mess. Here we go. Let's hope it doesn't go, you know, literally everywhere. Try to pull it off just a little bit, drain some. I'm not in that big of a hurry right now. You pull this thing off, it's going to make a massive mess. Oh, dripped a little bit. To get it out of the way. That hose is replaced, it's getting replaced, so put it right there and it's completely out of the way of all the radiator work and everything you're going to do. Okay, at this point, pull the rad supports off. Rad support. If you guys don't have a set of these, get them, because these hose clamps, now this is a fairly new hose and we're probably going to reuse it, so at that point do not, normally if it's an old hose I'll take it back and I'll clamp it right here, but it does leave lines on there when you clamp it. So since this is a new hose, I'm going to go ahead and take the clamp off, pull it off, and take the clamp all the way off so there's no witness of it. But normally if we replace this hose, I leave the clamps on the hose and then I wash the hose in the ultrasonic and it makes the clamps look good, because I want the clamps, you know. So this one, you're going to break this radiator. Let's see if I break it. Getting this clamp off right there, just twist it sideways and get it to crack, and then it'll pull straight off. You see that? Go up here, there might be a little in it. Dump it in there. Now look what I did. I messed up. Don't leave that on there full time. It will leave a line on it and then it'll just look like crap. And right here, don't mess with these 7mm. Put a little bit in it. It will make your life easier. Now this one will definitely put a new upper hose on. This is a factory clamp. So I'll just tighten it down a little bit. That way we don't have to keep track of the hose of the clamp, right? We have to keep track of the entire hose. So that makes it a lot easier. Let's go underneath it. All right, at this point, we get underneath it and the radiator is unattached. So you can go to the driver's side of the radiator and pick it up, and you get a little bit more out of it. Sometimes you get more than others. Okay, so there's nothing, just do that. It's just a real quick. And then I burn a towel because I don't want to make a nasty mess. So I just stick a towel all the way in there. It'll get completely caked with coolant, but there will be no drips of coolant all over the place. So shove the whole freaking towel in there, or shove as much of it. But right there so it's not dripping, and then we'll throw another towel in here. Okay, so it's been many years and we've made a lot of messes from coolant. So we finally look at under the floor right now. We now have everything plugged. The block is not drained, but everything else is. So this is the coolant that we put in. I was telling you before that I will put coolant in a truck even if we're gonna tear it apart that same day, because now this residue is all over inside the engine block. This is good coolant. Now granted, all the nasty stuff's gonna float to the top, and we have a screen on our vacuum tool. So that coolant's good, and we'll top it off with whatever we lose. But at the end of the day, we wanted that residue inside of the engine block. We have it, so we're good. Okay, at this point, let's go ahead and get the batteries off. Take the negatives off. Now, it seems like a very trivial thing, but I don't know why I'm so picky about this stuff. Okay, when you take a battery terminal off, loosen that thing all the way. Loosen the nut all the way until you can't spin it no more, because it is kind of knurled or whatever you want to call it on the end of the thread where it won't come off all the way. And then I spread it apart just a little, just so you can get it back on. See? Just a little spread. And then you can wiggle it. Oh, I thought. Now we'll wire brush all that out, but we want to spread this out so that when we put it back on, it goes all the way down, not flush with the top. I want it all the way down on the bottom, kind of like that. That's how much I want sticking above the terminal when we're done. So in order to do that, right now we already have our hands on it, so why don't you go ahead and use your time right now to get it ready to put back on, right? And then that will hook right there on the pulse vacuum hub. It's probably harder on the wire, but it keeps it away from the negative. Do it again, same thing over and over again. Negatives first, guys, negative first. If you do the positive first, then you got hot lines bouncing around. Do the negative, see I unspun it all the way out. Spread it open a little bit carefully. See that? No damage. It can tighten back up very easily. Now you take a 10 right here. Pop the cab accessory bolt off. That's nasty, so we'll deal with that later. And while you got the 10 in your hand, come over here and pop this one off too. Do them both at the same time. It's ridiculous to pick up the same tool 14 times to do a different job that could be done at the same time. So if you're using a 10, go ahead and use all you can. And let's get these batteries out. Same thing here. Now, we do have a way to combat that, and I'm still testing it, but what I'll do is when we put this back together, I will actually spray the terminal with battery protectant all by itself with nothing on it. Spray the terminal, and then I will cake the whole connection here with battery corrosive spray, you know, the red spray that you go on it. Cake this all by itself, cake this all by itself, and then put it together and tighten it up. I'm finding that's going to be a much better way, so to keep the corrosion down, because look, you can even have, I mean, the green, it just connects there, it collects there. It is what, yeah. Okay, this is what happens when you tighten the thing down way too much. And these battery terminals are not accessible from Ford anymore. They're not available. So when this gets bent up like this, it's totaled. I mean, we can make it work, it's fine, but when it's all bent up and smashed, you're not gonna recover from that. I mean, we could smash it in the vise and try to form it back, but it's gonna revert back to bending at the same spot that it always did bend at. So what we're gonna do right now is try to get in there, because it's all tweaked to get, there you go. We'll just take a little bit out, pull it up. Now this, okay, if you don't have one of these, it is a ASG 1878. That thing right there, I use that for all kinds of stuff. You can also use it double. Like say pulling that out can kind of, well, that'll come out easy, but sometimes you can do them double like that. Boom, and it'll take apart stuff that you can't normally get apart. So I don't like these boxes. I don't like them at all. But once again, it ain't my truck. So, but it does keep a lot of crap in. Look how nasty that is. I mean, honestly, when I wash that battery over there off, these are not sealing at all. So if you wash this at all, it just puts battery acid everywhere. So my little thought of taking the cover off probably doesn't even matter when the batteries leak like a son of a gun. 8 foot long. Right here. Take them out. Jump over to the other side. This side is the, oh, that ain't even tight. This side, when you get done tightening this, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Wonder why it wasn't in all the way. Okay, so if that speed nut, that's a special speed nut down there. So you be real freaking careful with that speed nut that holds it, because you'll have to go to the boneyard and find some other speed nut, but they do not sell that. The only way you can get that speed nut is to buy the entire battery tray. So, granted, it's an M6x1. You could just put a speed nut in it, but it's a hefty speed nut. It's not the cheap body panel ones. That one has actually got a bunch of threads in the bottom. So, be careful with it. Okay, so these batteries, we take them over here, set them in the sink, soap and water, scrub them all up, make them clean, and then we set them over there, and then we can trickle charge or whatever we want to do. These are actually good batteries. I just want to clean them up. All right, we get a little carried away with the soap. Yeah, this isn't going to work very good. I don't know, I've never sold interstate batteries. They look exactly like the Motorcrafts, except the color is different. Of course, I've never had Motorcraft batteries leak as bad as these interstate batteries look like they're, look, it's bubbling out right now. So I don't know what to say about this. Okay, yeah, it's not coming. I resorted to steel. So maybe if they had a black battery top, you wouldn't be able to see how subpar their seals are on their covers. Oh well. All right, well, September of 17. Honestly, we can't bag on them too much. Okay, if the block heater is in the factory location, before you even try to take the bumper off, just get it out. Otherwise, you're just gonna fight it. Now we gotta go underneath and get the fog light wires disconnected. Normally there's, well, this is 04, so there's probably keepers, not push pins. We'll see. Let me show you the keeper right here. This is what 04s, 03s, and 04s have. This little guy right here. Now, the late model ones do not have that. So what we're gonna do is make sure it's disconnected, and then the fog light wire is gonna stay with the truck while we take the bumper off. We're gonna have all the wires done, 2 18s here, 4 18 millimeters, and 2 13s on the sides. Let's do. All right, so here's this 13 right here, right inside the bumper in the wheel well. Generally, I don't put any WD-40. It probably burned me at times, but I generally just hit it. And okay, so there's the 13s, so we'll get them. There is a nut, 2 nuts attached to one bar behind here. So when you loosen this one up, it's gonna try to spin the nut that way. If you loosen this one first, it's gonna take the entire bar. Let me take one out and I'll show you. I'll explain it on the nut. And take them all the way out. There's little speed holders, retainers to keep the bolts inside of the bumper. Yeah, we don't need those. That's for assembly at the factory. So spin them all the way out. Now see how I did that one? All right, so now you got a visual aid. Okay, this one's tightened up and this one's tightened up, right? It's inside the bumper. If you take this one off first and you go to loosen this, now you've got this whole thing spinning around here, banging on stuff. So what I would do is take this one loose, right? So it's free. And then I would take this one all the way out. Imagine it's on the bumper. I'm talking about when I was doing it just now. Okay, so now this one is loose, holding it on. Now when I loosen this one, it's gonna let it bang up against the frame rather than trying to loosen this one first and have the entire thing swinging around because there's no bolt in it. It works easy like that. I'm trying to explain it all to you so that you can know to grab the bottom one, which it'll be different on the other side. grab the one that's gonna spin this away first, right? Loosen this one so that it's not like seized on tight. Loosen that a little bit, and then take this one all the way out. That way this is still holding it, keeping it from spinning around. And then when you take this one out, it just lets it go over and bang the frame. That's my thought. Okay, let's do this side. Look, quick hit. Take it all the way out. Now put your leg on it. Boom. And it almost always falls out of the bottom. I don't know why it does that, but they almost always fall out of the bottom. That's pretty nice. Definitely makes jobs go a lot better when you have places to put this stuff out of the way, for sure. Okay, I've showed these Easy Reds. These things are awesome. I have a T30 on one side and an 8mm on the other, and they work for a lot. Mainly, here's one right here. We're getting this off. Look, it goes right in. Granted, you could use a little ratchet, but I actually call this a special tool. It's a special tool. So, air filter off. Okay, so air filter. You get a lot of people that say how big of a pain in the butt this air filter is. In order to get this filter out, now we're gonna bounce around a little bit. Take this one off and take this Dgas vent line off. That's it. That's all you have to do. Disconnect the mass airflow and take the filter minder out, and then you can grab it right here. The battery can be in. This air filter takes minutes to change. Grab it right here and put your thumb on the rubber boot. Right there, put your thumb on the boot and then grab it over here too. And watch, just push it up and then it comes up out of there. Now you gotta cock it a little bit that way, right? Don't try to come straight. Cock it like that, come out, wiggle it around. There you go. That's how you change your air filter. Do not try to change this with this and this installed in the truck. You'll be there all day. Take the whole thing out and put it together like this, and then put the whole thing back in when you're doing an air filter. All right. I don't know, that's kind of a bummer. This battery cable, they put a twist in it. It's supposed to go like that, and if you go like that, it actually pushes it away from the charge air, the CAC tube down here, if you keep it how it was, but they put another twist in it and gave it memory now. That's, okay, it'll be all right, whatever. Okay, take the battery tray out, 13 5-inch extension. Actually should be a short well, 13 short well, 5-inch extension, but it'll be all right. And sometimes these are, they get seized in. You see how covered with rust they are? These are normal. See why I say a 5-inch extension? It fits in. And then get this. This thing is always nasty. Just dump it in the trash. Then we'll clean it. Okay, now it's coming apart, so caution the wind on a lot of it. Just put a little bit on the CAC tubes. All of these look pretty good, so you might not need to. It might be lost time, but we'll just spray down all these so they come off all the way. Okay. And then I used to use Milwaukee, but lately I've been using a nut driver just for these. Oh, look at that. They worked hard to put that on wrong. Are you serious? Thought maybe it'll go on. Nope. Okay, right there. Now this thing scooted over a little bit so it comes up so you can actually get it off and on. I mean, turbo clamps are horrible for this. People will actually work 10 times harder to tighten up a clamp wrong. If you're fighting it, you're probably doing it wrong. Don't keep doing it. Everything will come together wonderfully. Okay, now this. Now, okay, take these clamps all the way out. Now that's almost not far enough. I want these I want these nuts to be all the way out. Okay, I'll take them out so that they're almost all the way out. That's how I want it, because it's easier to clean. Time to go off and on a couple of times, but when they get cleaned and you're putting them back together, you'll be very, very glad that these clamps are opened up all the way. Plus, it gives you more room to clean. Whoa, 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 too far. Seriously, it's important. I want them all the way out. It really does matter. Okay, so if you notice, it's a lot easier when you have one tool in your hand. So nothing bugs me more than to watch when you're gonna take an 11mm. You're gonna have everything in your hand to take all the cack boots loose. But when you take off one cack boot, but you leave the other one, I mean, that's fine if you want to take 17 years to finish a freaking job. But if you're going to use an 11, 5-inch, do everything you can do at that moment with it. And that comes with, I guess, I mean, this is a little bit further than our second one we've ever done. So we figured it's time to put this video together. So little stuff like that. If it pisses you off that I'm so detailed about all this stuff, then you must already know everything. Because a lot of people that I see in here and a lot of the trucks that come in here, they obviously don't know. So that's why I'm putting all this out. Okay, I'm really hoping that the noise, we do have air conditioning here. It's kind of nice, but sometimes it's pretty loud. I leave this on. I used to take it off, but it will hold the AC line. It'll give you stuff to tuck under. It does not need to come off before any of the cab happens. If you're lucky, you'll get both clamps at the same time. Look how nasty that is. That's why I clean it. Like when I went to the car wash and I said I'd do it, see, I got as much as I could out of there, but it made it a little bit cleaner. The one on the turbo. Okay, it's a little stout on there right now, so I'm not gonna fight it. Now I'm taking extra time to tell you I'm not gonna fight it, which is taking extra time, which is a pain in the butt, but leave that on there. It ain't hurting us none. AC caps, we want to keep those with it. My hands are all dirty, so we'll have to clean the caps off later. But best way to lose stuff is not put it up, and I very easily could have lost those by not putting the caps on. Normally, right when you unhook the AC machine, put the caps back on right now. It's a lot easier. So we'll pull the other cack tubes off, and if it doesn't, inevitably they completely get taken apart. Oh, you see all that dirt fall all over the place. Stuff like that. I mean, that's why we wash as much as you can see the line. Look at where I got and where I didn't get. So we want to clean it that way right now. Let's be honest. Then it keeps my floor clean. But a little bit of dirt, who cares? So.
Why do you have two Easy Reds in here?
I mean, I got two hands. Everybody's taking all my stuff all the time, so I'm over it. I'm over it. I'm gonna start putting two of everything in here. I want two of everything. You got two hands. Now we're gonna go underneath. It's transmission line time. Okay, so if you have an 05, 06, 07, and you got the little white clips that are on the bottom, you need this. Can you zoom in on that? Let's see if you can. 8023. That right there will do the transmission disconnects. It still isn't the easiest thing in the world. But this is an 04, so you don't need this. Right here, I think you need a 1-inch and a 19. We'll find out in a minute. Don't take that. Good. All right, at this point, we're down underneath the passenger side of the truck. These clips right here are about the second most broken thing in the world. I don't even know what the first one is, but look right here. You see that little lock tab right there? Pay attention to this. See, look, you can lift that up. Look, and it pops open. There you go. Be careful, you'll break this right here. Now, getting that apart, it all depends on how old the plastic is, but 05, 06 uses this little hole right here, and they have a push pin that goes in, but this is 04, so the transmission lines are different. The 05, 06 comes over, and it actually goes through the same type of connector that that one does. So this one is 1 1/16 and a 19mm. Don't try to take them off without a backup wrench. Don't even try it. I mean, unless you want to buy a radiator or a line. But this looks pretty good, so I'm going to spray probably spray something on it. Let's do that real quick. Okay, I have a different drain pan for each one. There's 3 connections under here that you have to disconnect. You've got the transmission line to the cooler right here. You have both lines going to the radiator also. The cooler, I'm talking about the external cooler that's on front. So we'll just put a little bit there. I'm not going to spray it. I should spray the other one, but Always try to keep it clean. Ready? Look at that, that's nice. Okay, now wiggle it back and forth. You see how I did that? Move it back and forth. This one is actually phenomenally good. Very rarely do they come off that easy, but you guys saw it. Now, it felt like it might unthread my hand all the way. Yep. I didn't touch this yet, I promise you, I did not. Okay, now it's where, get this loose. Right, it's gonna start draining. There you go. Now, with that loose and still in there, hold it here, hold that over, put a finger under here. Look how, okay, now I'm being detailed. This is the second one I've ever done. Okay, put it down right here. Can you see that? Mm-hmm. Finger on the top, one finger here, push it over, and it comes out like nothing. Did you see that? There's absolutely no reason to break this as long as the plastic is able to not be broken, if you're following me. So, finger here, holding it, and that same finger over here, opening it, and it's gravy. It's just obvious. It jumps off the truck if you do it like that. All right, even on the hoses with the hose clamps, I mean, you might be able just to open it and move it. I don't really mess with that. But seriously, I mean, you might think it's crazy, but spray a little WD-40 on it, inside, all over that connection, because this one seems to be coming apart pretty easy, so we probably won't fight it. But sometimes they're caked and corroded. You never know what yours is gonna look like. So remember these tools I told you to get? I mean, they work for everything. Look, just grab it. There you go, done. That's how you take off these clamps. Anybody that would rather have a spring clamp or a screw clamp rather than one of these, you're crazy. I wouldn't. I mean, these things hold a lot better if they, I mean, unless you clamp them too tight and mess up the actual clamp here, these are far superior to, okay, right there, look at that, it's coming off. So grab one in and just twist it. Okay, not all the way yet, hang on just a second. Now you can use the same drain pan for both of them once it drains down a little bit, but right now I'm not gonna mess with that. Let's just do this real gently because, okay, there you go. Now, I'll take this right now and just take it off. Got a bunch of stuff on it, wipe it off before you go. So my theory on this, I spent years and years trying to pull it apart and put plugs on it and cap it as fast as possible. No. You know what? This is a chance that you're gonna get to top off and throw a little bit of fresh fluid in it if you don't do a complete training service. So I'm gonna let this sit here and drip until it almost don't wanna drip no more, and then I'm gonna cap it because it's annoying to have these lines dripping for the entire job because they will. I promise you they will, and it's a bummer. So we're gonna go ahead and crack the other side and you get the idea. Here, we'll go ahead and crack the other side loose. See that? You better hold it. Oh my goodness. Yeah, buddy. Hang on, let me get another bite. Oh, did you see the radiator flexing? I thought I was gonna break the radiator off. Here, if you put them close together like this, then you can just squeeze your hand together, but it doesn't always work. Let me make sure I'm square on it. Ready? Oh my God. Line wrench. All right, at that point. Okay, that's a line wrench, in case anybody was wondering. It's supposed to go all the way around it a little bit better. They don't always work though, they'll flex. I've flexed them before. Let me go the other way. Flexed them open. Oh, buddy. See, like that? Yeah, I honestly, you're probably gonna buy a radiator now. Yeah, I mean, see, it's things like that to record. Let's be honest. Anybody else could have gotten that radiator off a lot better than that. I don't know, but we show everything here. So, if you got to buy a radiator because of that, that sucks. That's a bummer. We won't have to buy a radiator because I have these now. But what you're not going to have is a nice fancy line. Well, either that or we could replace the line because honestly, once I put these pliers on that, now if this was Saturday afternoon with your neighbor hanging out, then fine, use this. But shop setting, ship your truck across the country, to have it worked on, and they put a pair of awesome freaking pipe wrenches. Actually, this is an awesome set. They put this on a freaking fastener on your truck. That fastener is now trash in this setting. That's all I'm saying. Because, yeah. Now this thing, I think I'm backwards. I don't know, we'll see. I am not a pipe fitter. I don't know. I mean, I forget a lot which way these things go because I think I got it wrong. Oh boy. Open your hand, in case anybody's wondering. Don't be closing your hand like that doing it. Oh! Look at that. At least we got it. I guess we can decide if you want. I hate having a line looking like that though, with garbled freaking vice grip holes on it. But you know what's funny? Joe, at least you'll see what made it. At least you'll see how it happened. That freaking hack put pliers all over my fittings. All right, I'm just sitting here taking this line off and thinking about what all the comments are gonna be about me saying that you need to buy a radiator. I have changed these. All right, look here, look at this fitting here. I have lots and lots of these fittings available in the building right now. The problem is once you take it apart and disrupt it, your chances are fairly slim that they're gonna be dry without some kind of replacement. I mean, things are getting older now, and the way that they put these together could be a lot better. That's all I'm saying. Because this thing is still hard to get out. Look, I got to pipe wrench it. Look, I screwed up the line. But it's coming out, so that's at least a bonus. But I destroyed that line. That's well, I didn't destroy it, but I mean, tell me guys, I mean, I wouldn't want to pay for that. Not one bit. Freaking drag. It's probably, oh, it ain't even close yet. Okay. He's off. I mean, by chance, you're going to wind up with it wet down here. And so that's why I always say, I mean, we want it perfect, right? Try to be as perfect as possible. Well, something like that, when you got to garble something out and then say, even if the threads in here are messed up, and then we take it apart and put another fitting on it. There's a felt washer and an O-ring, and then there's that cone flange right here on the inside of here. Your chances are very, very good at having it. Man, now I'm not talking a leak. I'm talking about it not looking bone freaking dry. That's what I'm getting at, because I would really love for it to be bone dry. Like no indication that anything had ever even came off. But when we get to a point like these, with these lines, and the only reason why I'm going into it is because a lot of you guys are going to be watching this working on your trucks, and you are going to see that your lines might not come off as easy as these appeared. And I'm saying that after I put freaking vice grips on it. Yours still might be harder to get apart than this one, because this was a very easy set to do. This came apart. Look, hold that down because there's a line in it. Just hold it down just like that. We're draining the cooler now. There you go. So disconnect the lines and try to get as much as we can. We'll go ahead and pop. Let's do that too. Okay, we're gonna wait on the transmission filter. It's a 22 millimeter right here. Do not try it without an impact. Put an impact on it, or yeah, it will break. You'll spin the bracket. But we're gonna do that after the cap's off later, because I can take it apart and make it a lot cleaner. Right now I'm just gonna drain the lines and disconnect. Now we look up here, these front four next to the power steering lines that always get forgot, that 75% of all of trucks that come in here that has had their cab lifted, power steering lines are bent because one or two forgot to unhook, and so you can tell it tweaks the line up, you can tell. And these 4 push pins right here, you forget these push pins, then I mean, it'll leave witness marks, it'll pull them through. If you don't forget these push pins, if you don't forget them, then you have a very high probability of taking a cab off a truck and putting it back together and nobody even know you was even there. That's the biggest thing, right? So let's do our best. That's what this video is for. We're gonna document everything that we do, and if you want to follow along at home, then you can. And it's actually in enough time so you could play it on the TV up on the wall, and we'll show you everything to do, right? How much time have we put? As long as we put enough time in between taking all the stuff apart. I guess I did grab some tools. Enough ranting, let's get back to it. Out of all this, look like Twister happening up here. Okay, I say in another video, that last one, how much I like them caps. You can use these caps on everything. They can go inside, outside. Just put a cap in it. I do not worry about capping the radiator. Oh, that squeaky creeper. Capping that radiator is just a pain in the butt because it's a cone flange on the inside. You could try all day long, it's still gonna leak. Your best bet is just to set it somewhere where it can leak. That's gonna be the best bet. But then plug both of the transmission lines. This rubber line going to the cooler, we're underneath on the passenger side. Plug both sides of that because that's gonna be staying. Otherwise, this connection right here will drip on your head for however long you're doing the job. It's a pain in the butt. So at this point, this is all the transmission fluid we've lost. It's really not that dirty. And it's not that much either. I mean, hardly anything. We'll try to consolidate. I shouldn't have done that because now it's gonna drip on the floor. Let's just do that right there. Let it sit for a minute. To take these eighths out, you've got 2 8mm on the fan shroud right here. I already loosened them a little bit. I loosened them. From that point, battery cable, okay? Just pop the fronts off. And, ooh, you can tell this hadn't been off. Probably not, I don't know. Be careful with these because you will pull the end off of it. And then I'll go up through here, hit this one, get it up just a little, right? You feel that popping? That sounds like stuff's breaking. Okay, and this one, and then you've got 3 push pins on the battery cable. You get these out of the way, and you have an actual good fighting chance at getting the radiator to clear the fan clutch hub and the wire. You wanna try it? Let's try it real quick. Here, let me pull this out. Let's see. Pull this out, be careful. I mean, we'll have to tape all that back up, put it where it goes. But you wanna try it? Let's try it. Here, hold that over. Actually, just do that. We're getting a new hose anyways. Let's see if I can get it to clear. Now, when you pull it, cock it, bam, bam, bam. Okay, there, it's free. Grab that old girl. And now I'm pushing here with my thumb and I'm pulling here. I'm trying to bend the radiator. Watch. Oh, it went. Did it? Okay, and then put it on your foot. Don't set that thing on the ground, put it on your foot. And then leak transmission fluid all over you. Good. Oh, look at that. Somebody already cut it. Oh, that's straight up cut. Oh, look, they did a fancy design on it too. Oh no, that's probably broke. But, okay, now we're always trying to, look at the dirt right there. See that dirt? You know what that means? It's been broken for a long time. Turn the light on real quick. Okay, when it comes to the fan shroud, I will take this rubber piece off and take the cover off, ultrasonic it, make it look all good. We got hot water here. Now, I always just do a mud dogger. Just spray it out. Now I'm getting it in the transmission line, but it's gonna have a couple of days to dry. We'll blow through it. We actually do a couple of things to that anyway. At this point, I'll fill the radiator up too. Okay, because if you fill the radiator while you're trying to clean it out, think about it, then it's hot, right? It makes the water hot, as long as you're using hot water. Right, oh yeah, it's hot. Thermal imaging camera, pause it. I always start like this. How hot is it? 114 degrees in that radiator. Oh. Ooh, it's really hot right there. 120 degrees.
Can't see it.
113 degrees. Oh, calibrating. Wait. I like this thing. Oh. I do like this thing. It's freaking cool. Okay, so I filled the radiator all the way up and I've been spraying a little bit through it. Now what I'm gonna do is put the, look, there's some crap on it. Might as well wipe it off. Now's a pretty good time. You got a freaking hose here. So I'll put the hose in it, right? And I'll start spraying and then pick it up and go full bore. Look. Missed it. There's a bunch of, clean it out. We're gonna go for it. Now this is the outside of the radiator. If you notice, I started spraying from the inside out first. Now we're just gonna have to get normal. This is dirty enough to probably have taken outside to clean. Oh well, we've already done it. Let's clean it up. Draw that. We'll also do this to the charge air cooler. We won't pull the transmission cooler out, but we will pull the charge air cooler and clean it out too. We will clean out the heat exchanger. A lot of stuff is in it. Look at all of it. And then a good indication would be to look on the back, right here, back here. Ready? Watch the dirt as it directly comes. See how it gets the dirty spots? I see it. Now see how close I'm going? Don't go too close. You'll bend all them fins over. Water heater is what we run, and as far as time frame for each individual job, like this radiator, I will burn the entire 40 gallons of the water heater out cleaning this radiator. And in the meantime, while we're getting the charge air cooler out, I'll have to wait for the heat to regenerate. So I'm only telling you this because that gives you a justification for how long I'm actually spraying on it. I'm going to use 40 gallons of water. So once the thermal imaging camera says that that water's cold, I mean, we've done all we can do. Yeah, I'll blow it on the side, kind of an angle. Last little spray off to the side. I mean, you can try to hit it the other way, but it's just counterproductive to go straight through like this, but we can do it. Okay, that's enough. Okay, do you guys think that we cleaned this out pretty good? Let's see here, watch. Let me clean the wall off. Because I mean, it's pretty clean. That's cold water coming out. I've already burned a bunch of water. Now, what? This is ridiculous. Watch. See all the crap? So that'll tell you right there, just because you think it's good enough, it probably ain't. Keep cleaning. Cleaning it out is one thing, but it also gets rid of the water because you carry this thing back over to where you want to store it at, and there's probably a gallon of water inside the fins of this thing. So that's what got me starting to do this, and then I realized all the crap that was locked in it. So it's just perfect. So blow it out, spray it with water, and blow it out. I wouldn't know about a car wash though. Car wash be garden hose with hot water hooked to your water heater. Everybody's got a spigot at the bottom of their water heater. Now, the wife's gonna look at you all funny, but you're gonna drape a hose up through the house from the water heater to clean this out. And if you do that, you'll be amazed at how much better everything comes clean. For now, we'll just set this in here. Because if you have nothing but time and you got an ultrasonic cleaner, then I'll take this. Well, actually, that needs to go anyways. That's freaking trash. Turn that on and there you go. That'll clean it good. Oh. Okay, from here we got the radiator out, charge air cooler. It's the last little guy in the way. Okay. Cooler out, get it out of the way, and it'll go back. We don't have enough hot water right now, so we'll set this. We'll spray that off. Go ahead and pull the Dgas bottle out. Anybody that tries to take these off with pliers is crazy. We need to turn the light on, huh? Look, that way you can squeeze it. See that? I'm not even touching it. Both hands off, and it holds the clamp open. Everybody that tries to use pliers, it's crazy. Okay, now here, just grab it, twist it, and then when you take this off, see it's trying to leak, hold it up like that. and carry it to wherever you're gonna be. Now down in here, behind the Vicum, you can see that? Every truck is like it. Before you connect this, or right when you connect it, before you clamp it, twist it. Ooh, that's on there tight. Twist it. Put a twist in it. Now look what it does up there. It's away from the Vicum. See, if I go down, it touches it. So to do that, when you put it back together, just put noticeable twists in it. Sure, it flexes the plastic, but at least it doesn't touch anything. This hose needs replaced now, the heater core tube, because it's got a hole in it. Well, it's almost got a hole in it. There's 3 connections on the engine harness, and then I'll take some WD-40 and just spray the whole connection. Everything we're gonna have to take off. And while you're at it, go ahead and spray the transmission connections. We'll just pull this out, just like that's pretty easy. Now this one uses a screwdriver right in the middle. They'll break. Pushing that in, this connector breaks all the time right here. 90% of all trucks have it broke. This one is not. If you push it in, it's kind of a two-handed gig. Just take your time. That's all I'm getting at. Figure out how they come apart so that you don't break them when you're trying to disassemble, because it makes it just a pain in the butt when you're trying to put it back together and stuff doesn't work. See that? That's where they always break, right there. Haha, I got it apart. They break right there. We're gonna walk through this. It's supposed to be a step-by-step. You see that little space? That is the harness. That's the truck connector. Okay, so push it in the middle right there and then twist it while you're pulling. So there you go. That's the main engine harness. Take that over and tuck it out of the way. Spray a little bit. Just a little. Let it soak. Let's see. Oh. I've never broke the end off the bottle yet, but let's see. A lot of these are hard as a mother to get off. See this? Just pry on it. Okay? Just a little. See, that sucker's on there, right? So when you try to take yours off and it's a pain in the butt, you're not the only one. Oh, easy. That little crack's all we're really looking for. Now I know I can crack the rest of it. I should. Oh. Yeah, we're showing all of this because this is very likely that you will fight this. Let's see if we can't. Oh gosh. Yeah, hold that under there. Look at it. It's like holding on for dear life.
I see that.
Come on, girl. Oh, there we go. Oh, there you go. Okay. Okay, now, why is this Tupperware here? Because I don't want to make a freaking mess. So we'll drain as much as we can. Put that back on it. And then Julie go dump it. But we're not going to sit here all day, so put a plug in it. And then this guy, look, let's go down, watch the mass airflow wire, which I should have just unhooked. This is where it gets fun. Let's try to catch this that's in this line. You get the idea. We're going to do that with an empty one. I'm not going to cap it right now. We'll do it later, but I stick it right there. It's completely out of your way. On the cab mounts, we'll go ahead and throw a little bit of spray on them. Just a little bit right now. Go ahead and do the other side too. We're not ready to take them out yet. Gives them a little time. The ABS on 04s, 03, 04s, and 73s, all them. We got one more push pin over here, and we will clean this piece up. It'll look all brand new. Okay, these lines right here, don't mess around with these lines. If you strip that out, you get an ABS box. We'll go ahead and spray them. We might take them all off. I don't know. I mean, it's the best way to not have brake fluid leaking. So on the driver's side, the ground, look how bent it is. It's been up. It should actually be flat, and I will flatten it back out when it's done. And then the fog light wire actually goes underneath the wire here, and then it goes up and over the wire and hooks up the connection. That's how it's supposed to go. This is supposed to go flat. If that goes flat and you take this funky little curve out of here, it's beautiful. Right there. All right, now for these brake lines, but first let's get the fog light wire that I was just talking about. When they're pesky, put a little spray on them. Right there. Any dirt right there in that sucker. See, it's supposed to go that flat. I'm gonna go and bend it right now. Oh, way flat. Hang on, I can't measure. That flat like that, and then it curves up to the battery. Like this. Take all that curve out. It goes just like that. Oh man, it's all funky. But if you look here, that's how the connection goes. Just like that. Under it, that actually should be a little bit bent that way too. Take this push pin off, and then the fog light wire will come off the truck once the cap comes up. And the negative You can just put it right in there. Done deal. Okay, back to these lines. Use a line wrench on it. It's a 14 millimeter. Most of them are 13s on the late models. Okay, now, there we go. They would tell you to use a backup wrench, but honestly, I don't see any feasible way that you can. So we're gonna do this. We're gonna see what happens. Here we go. Oh, look at that. How nice. Rest assured, they don't always come across like that. So if I build it up to you on your truck, you'll be mad at me because these appeared easy. See how I just wiggle them around? Should be a 9/16, but oh well. I got a 14. Oh yeah, oh my God. Oh, that's hard to spin. Is that spinning the line? Put your finger on here and make sure you're not spinning the whole line because it spins and the flare is locked in and you spin it and you don't even know it. You spin the freaking line off of it. That's still real hard to spin. No way out by hand. Focus a little bit on these because this is pretty much one of the deciding factors in a cab lift that you cannot control. The other one is the e-brake cable. That one, you can't control them. You don't know how easy or hard they're gonna come apart. Everything else we can kind of brute force and take them apart, but those, you'll break stuff. So, right here, we're just gonna take our time with it. This line is gonna take forever. Those two are done, golden. This little guy right here is just gonna kick our butt, so we won't make you watch it all. You know, the big problem we've got right now is this one might actually be spinning on the inside. It might be. So if that's the case, we got lucky. The bigger line goes to the back brakes. This one is front driver, which means it's like the shortest brake line almost on the truck. So one of the shortest. So if it is spinning inside of there, I mean, there's nothing we can do other than replace the line. I mean, I could go back. It's not breaking loose. I think it's just spinning, actually. I think it's spinning the line. I think the more I go back and forth, I'm just twisting the line and weakening it more and more. So let's go ahead and put a front driver brake line on the list.
Go.
We bought it. There you go. It's done. Dang it. Now, it doesn't take much. It was spinning. I know it wasn't spinning independent for the whole time. That's a bummer. That's the first time I've actually ever done that. I've never actually broke a line right here before. I've talked about it a lot, but it's funny, the first time I want to record this, I show it. Yeah, so I would have been a million times more careful if it would have been a driver's or a rear brake line, but that little one on the driver's side and it's fighting us like that. I mean, we could have spent an extra hour playing with it side to side and it's still done that. Look at this. See, I spun the line all the way off and it's still hard to do. So there was no hopes of getting that off. Yeah, look at that. I mean, you can't tell how hard it is, but at that point it should unthread off by hand. So there's something caught in it. That's still hard to spin. I hope it doesn't mess up. I've had it before where it'll pull the threads out. Down there on the block. Let's hope. I mean, if it's cross-threaded, that would be a drag. Well, there you go. Let's see how... Oh, they're going to drip out too. Brake fluid is highly corrosive. Dang, look at that. What do you think that is? Over-tightening. It looks like over-tightening to me. What do you guys think? Sucking it down in there and it just smashes it right through the flare. That was never going to come off. Bummer. These two are fairly decent. Damn. Sharp. They almost over-tightened that one too. Look at it. Okay, it smashed it so freaking flat. Paper thin. It just cut me. It did. It cut me. Cut me, Mick. It cut me. Cut me, Mick. That one looks pretty good. That's the big for the rear brake, but yeah, they tightened the crap out of that. What a drag. Hey, let's put some blood on it.
Okay guys, so I make the little caps. They're all kind of different. And I will use something like this out of a brake bleeder kit and just throw a little cap over the top of it. Seems to work the best.
You can adjust the vice grips to how much open you want the clamp to be. That's why I use vice grips on them. It's kind of a pain in the butt to work around this thermostat hose, this upper radiator hose. When I said earlier that you have witness marks, I hadn't even seen it. Witness marks that a cab had been raised. See how bent down that is? That should be level. That says that they forgot that line. They remembered this one, but they forgot that one. That one was still hooked up. They went to raise the cab, and I mean, honestly, why wouldn't they have just bent it back up? Watch. Look, they could have just done that. And all the indication that all that they messed up was fixed, but they didn't do it. Oh well. That is a 13/16, and that is an 18 millimeter. Use a backup wrench on it. It's not that hard. A lot of times they're hardly tight at all. Oh, but that one is. I know we could have taken the master cylinder off and the ABS module off and let them stay down with the body. I'm not doing it like that. Ooh, yeah, you see that? Take that, pick them. Use a backup wrench, that way you're good. We spilled a little out of there. Now on an 05, you don't separate this, you actually loosen it from back here, the back of the master cylinder, or the hydro boost. So, and also if you have to replace this line right here, it does not come with this jumper. All the lines we've seen, they actually go all the way back to the hydro boost. So this connection right here, if you have an 03, 04 and you replace this line, you will never loosen a connection up again right here at this point, because they eliminate this line. I make a point right now to unthread these off, that way I don't even entertain trying to thread it back in with no seal on it. And then this little guy push right inside the turbo inlet pipe. We'll wind up with quite a few things in the turbo inlet pipe. It's a wonderful place to hold stuff. Right there, the power steering wheels. Just pull that up, and then these little clamps here will generally hold it there. And take off the sector shaft. Right there. Take that nut off, that bolt off. I would go ahead and spray that connection down too. Both of those, but we're not taking the other one off, just that front, that back one. Spray it down a little bit. This is the line that went right there. That can go over here also. See, they all fit in. Spray that sector shaft down too really good. That connection right there. Just cake it down and then spray this shaft too a little bit, because it slides up in there. So you might as well spray a little bit of that, just coke it down, cake it up. 13 stupid long. Now we'll try to take push pin puller. You guys ever seen those before? Pop it up. Right there. Okay, so I turned it to the driver's side. That eliminates having to strap the steering wheel. But you better remember which way you turned it. So when I write it down on the board, that when it's time to connect this sector shaft back up, take the keys, put the keys in the ignition, it'll unlock it, and we'll turn it a quarter turn to the passenger side, and it will line right up. It's locked. So what that tries to keep from having is an airbag light on, because your clock spring got broke. Happens all the time, just like these bent lines, just like all kinds of stuff. If you don't strap the steering wheel and that steering wheel turns, it'll break the clock spring. Very, very quick, very easy. This is the 18 stupid long. Now sometimes I'll do it with an impact, depending on how hard they are. Oh, like that. Wonder why I break Milwaukee's. Now this one, for Milwaukee, you might see it break. Oh.
Well, you'll see the battery fly out of it.
After I retrieve the battery.
Okay, I normally would use an impact. Honestly, I should have. I will never, ever use an impact to put it back together, though. Unless you can. You can. If you do, you better have a flashlight looking at it for when it slows down, and you better know your impact. Otherwise, you're going to wind up just tearing stuff up. So, those are freaking nasty. Okay, so this is, after throwing parts around for a little bit, this cart right here is dirty, need to be cleaned parts. We're gonna stack everything on this. We can almost fit an entire engine on here, a whole job, and then wheel the entire cart back into the back and go through it. We don't always go that route. This cart right here will be used parts. This is every single thing we take off or use for this job. This cart, okay, some jobs are big enough that there are boxes spread out all over the place, but this cart is designed to be everything that we take off the truck or packages of new stuff we open. Back here is finished, final clean, ready to put back on the truck parts. The same with over there. Now we kind of got some stuff going on those two shelves. That shelf and that shelf right there, they will also have new parts. Now generally over here, we have a spot set up for short block parts. For base engine to build the engine. We'll build the engine here out with the upper oil pan, the oil pan. I want all those parts here. Rocker boxes generally will go over here too, even though they go over there. But put a system together for where you're going to put all these parts at. Otherwise, you'll wind up with a mess. Because if you guys will notice, we'll take this entire engine apart. We'll take the whole job apart, and there will not be stuff. Well, I say that. There's charge air cooler right there. The job goes so much easier if you take your time and decide where you're going to put stuff. Otherwise, it's just an absolute disaster. Now, this is probably, how many trucks have we done?
I don't know. A lot.
So we've tried to fine tune this procedure, and we're showing you guys it now. If you have an 05, 06, 07, chances are it's a 20 millimeter down here, not a 5/8. Let's hope it comes off. You ready? Oh yeah, good deal. Okay. Now, I don't even try to ratchet it. We just use this and just go back and forth and spin it. And then once it comes far enough, you probably don't even need the tool. And then when it gets even farther, you can just reach down there and unthread the thing. The thread is out and it sticks in the hole. This is common. It doesn't take much power steering fluid or any kind of fluid to make a nasty mess of everything. This line right here does not have to be disconnected. We'll take the mass airflow wire off. That stays with the chassis. Lift that up and put the mass airflow under it. Now we have to pull this line up and then we'll put the brake line under it. If you do that and then run this back behind it and then put that inside, this is the power steering feed line is what it is. This is the big line that came off of there. So make sure your return line from your pump or from the cooler, I'm sure that's a return line, is underneath the brake line because all this stuff has to go up. So this one needs to go up there. All right, with that funky bend in the battery cable, I mean, you could revise the entire thing, the entire routine, and go ahead and take this off. I normally don't because there's plenty of room to get it around, but it wasn't cooperating, so I went and took it off. Got the ground bolt back in the frame for now because there's 4 more we have to take off, and we go back and we wire brush and paint and clean all the bolts up, and I'll just leave that one in until I take the other ones off. This line comes from the cooler and this line's to the cooler, or whichever way you want to go. These don't have to have a lot of prep work or anything, really. Just hook it up right there, and then when you raise the cab, it will go up and clear everything, and it won't touch nothing. Just make sure the brake lines, the power steering lines, everything is going under it, and you're golden. You don't need to do a bunch. You don't need to disconnect that. Even though we drained all the fluid out of it anyways, most of it, it's gonna get a fluid change. Look what I found down there. That goes on the battery cable. That is perfect for those double push pins. Now, the double push pin puller, what I'll do first is see if I can push it by hand. Just see. Oh my God, that hurts. Ah, right there, okay. Didn't break it, awesome. Now, we got the transfer case relay box, which is right here. So you pull this little tab, that little tab, the middle one, put it in there and pull it that way. You see that thing moving? Move that, and then the whole thing comes up. There you go, you're done. Now, chase the transmission wire. We've got another one right here. Another push pin that I'm gonna use 2 push pin pullers for. Okay, we can put one down here, just like that. Put one right here, just like that, and I'll push them off each other. Come on, girl. Oh, okay, here. Why don't I just put both hands on the outside and do it like right there. Now, see that? Didn't break it. Now I'll take the transmission line off, and the whole thing is free. Right here. That's your transmission harness, your fuel pump harness. The other one is going to be your lights, your backup lights, your trailer brakes, all that stuff. Now I'll just push this over here so it goes out of the way, because when the cab comes up, you'll have miles and miles of room. So just get it out of the way. Okay, these two up here on top, they're kind of a pain, but it is possible. Now this same thing, just push it down here by where the engine mount is, and it's completely out of the way. You don't have to do a lot of bungeeing and stuff like that. You know, there's no need. So that is all the wiring for this side now. I think. Let me look around to make sure. We'll wager that we didn't forget anything on that side. Okay. Man, every single thing is bent. It looks like they forgot to take this off too, because that's supposed to be flat. So 8mm here. That's your negative cable. Push it into the fan stator. Keeps it completely out of the way. You can probably get it without an extension. I put a 3-inch extension on it. This one, right there. It's an 8mm. The later ones are insulated. The older ones just have the bare wire. Okay, so at this point, you don't need to take the map sensor off the truck. Map sensors, they're normally really good. So these have little cheesy hose clamps on them, and then grab it and pull it off. If it cracks, because this is a wear item. This very, very regularly needs replaced because it has a crack right here. Many map sensors have been bought because, oh, look at that, I didn't do it. Because of trying to pull this off the nipple of the map sensor, and it breaks the nipple off. So be careful there too. We got it off. Clean that hose out. Just take the hose off and it's gone. So big vice grips now, and we'll go right to the heater core tube. If I can just grab, yep, nope, can't grab it. All right, we'll try these again. I mean, I've used them 7,000 times and I don't think they've ever worked once. Why do I keep grabbing them? Probably because I used the other pair that I have and it destroys the hose. The ones that I have that are metal. I mean, they work, but if it's too tight, it will actually tear a hole in it. So, look at that. Oh, look at that. They actually function as intended. Now we're gonna get some coolant out. I don't care. Yeah, I do. Give me a shot back. Put this on here. I'm gonna cover it. Water's getting hot. That is hot water we're using. Go until it's clean. Or until you run out of water. Okay, in case you were wondering, that is backwards too. Now, it's gonna drip. If we wouldn't have done that, granted, it might have cost me a couple quarts of coolant, because we're not going to charge him any more coolant. He just got the original coolant. That is so that it does not continuously drip nasty coolant forever. It has water in it now, and it'll drip water. Because you're not, I mean, if there's water up there and it's coming out of you're not going to stop it. We've tried it for years. So let's get that out of there. Now the heater core is clean. That's a major part. Let's go ahead and do that. Especially if you can't run the truck and you haven't done a flush. If that's the case, then you actually need to use compressed air and work a little harder on cleaning the heater core, because there's a lot of nasty crap in there and we want to get it all out. Pull that out of the battery tray, maybe with another one like that. See how two of them work great? And then we can take this with the remote start wire right here. Remember that wind deflector we left on? Around, down in there. That's absolutely golden, out of your way. It's not gonna hurt nothing. Now, the only one we have that we have to bungee is the AC line and the alternator charge line. Don't forget the 4-wheel drive line. We'll push it over here, just up there so it doesn't get caught on nothing when we're raising the cab. Bungee this up, and then that's pretty much it under the hood. Pretty much, no, that is it. Here, so now we're gonna see if his running boards will clear, because I have broke a set of running boards exactly like that before, because they are so close to the pinch weld. All right, so just a quick bungee right there, and I hooked it to the power steering line. It's not tight at all. It's not tight, but it's holding it. I'll pull the e-brake cable. Pull it until you hear the stop. Take the vice grips, grab the towel, and push it all the way up against it and clamp it. That will give us some room. Now these 04s, generally, I mean, they could be easier because, oh yeah, it's already moving, because they can have this tab here, right? Pull this little tab up and it's generally pretty easy, but 05s don't have this. 05s do not have that. Now what you might want to do is go ahead and put these on there, but it looks like it's already been, just look at it. Okay. Put that in. We'll squeeze it just a little bit. Oh, look at that. Really? That's okay. Normally, I have 2 bars that I put on the ends. Here, normally, I do this with it. Do that right here and then spread it apart. Generally works, but it looks like this one really kind of already had its day. So, honestly, it made our day easy. So, get dirt all over you. Just grab the other side and it'll come loose. Just grab it, wiggle it around a little bit. Now, right there, let that hang. That's good right there. Now, ABS wires. Once again, just like the push pin on the retainers under the seats, push it together and pull it apart. You just disconnect it. Everything else will be fine. That's it. Now, up here, transfer case. Is this manual? Nope, it's automatic transfer case. So, we'll just spray a little bit on this. Now, push pin puller, you could try to separate that, but honestly, it's easiest if you don't mess with the adjustment. Do it all the time. Just barely pop it off right there. It's very, very easy. It locks on pretty good, and if it don't, we can just replace this. But right there, that is transmission. This is early model transmission connector for the shift cable. Pull that little U-clip out. Pull that little U-clip out just like that. Let me show you. Push that tab right there, that tab, and there's another one on the other side. You can push those in and then it comes. I can't do it one hand. Oh well. This is a pretty good job for those hose pliers too. Right-handed and it jumps right out of the truck. See? 8 foot long, that's what I use right here. Take this ground off. Okay, on this one I am going to put the bolt back in this one too, because we'll take it off and clean it all up. And I leave the ground strap on the frame, because when we take all the other ground straps off the frame is when this one comes off too. So we don't need to garble up our routine by messing with trying to take this off right now. The cab's going to be off in a minute, so it's nothing. Okay, it looks like their push pin is, it's still there. Let's see. Let's see if we can get it to go in there and stay. At that point right there, guys, that's cab off. The only thing we got to do is pick it up now. Let's pick it up.
Okay, we decided to take the running boards off. I'm not going to show all that. Not all the running boards need to come off, but we did break one like this.
Okay, don't forget, kick it into neutral. Okay, all the way back is park, reverse, neutral. So right now, when I kick it into neutral, there's no worry about the truck starting to roll anywhere, right? That's what happens when you let it rest from the beginning. It was in park, now it's in neutral, we can move it, so we can push it forward to get everything lined up. Okay, so right now we're gonna wash off before the cab actually goes up. Normally I do it on a creeper, so I can not get my feet all soaking wet. All the parts of the cab won't get clean. Over there too. And in there, long defender well. Remember them AC caps we put on? Yeah. This is why. Get the bottom of the radiator mount, where the radiator mount to where the cab bolts go.
That is hot water, guys.
Yeah, can you tell? It's steaming. Be able to drop the cab back down and not have a bunch of grimy crap, because it's going to look different here. So at least we tried and we washed it. You can kind of see a lot of that dirt's gone.
And the toolbox got a bath.
Toolbox got wet?
Yeah.
Oh, it's spraying all the way on my feet.
It was fine. He gave me a shower earlier.
As you can tell, we don't do that very often. Now I'll take the blow gun and we'll blow it forward. Because that water will drip forever. Oh, I did, I got my feet all wet. Thank God we're almost done. Now we'll just blow it on the engine.
That's okay, because all that stuff's going to get cleaned anyway. How about the pre-soak?
Man, I don't know, we pulled that stick out, it's liable to leak.
Duck stuck?
Oh man. Oh my goodness.
Maybe it wasn't.
It might have went all the way through.
You might just need a charger.
Oh, it did go all the way through.
Oh my goodness, that's
holy crap.
very long.
Yeah, there's a hole in it. I just washed it too. Oh well, the oil will still be there. If it's leaking, we'll find it. It'll be alright. Big old stick stuck in there like we went through a tornado. So that when we're done, lots of air will be able to flow through. Now I need to clean off the tires on them. Because at this point, we're done with the topside creeper for
A while.
long time.
And he'll clean the floor and we'll take the cab off.
It'd be nice to not hit the fender well right here, you know? So we're gonna put it right here. That's where we always do it. Sometimes people have already cut off on the fender well, so if I can get to it without smashing the fender well, then I will put the lift right here. But for this point, we'll go right there, put a little piece of rubber in between it, just so we say we tried, and that'll be it. Check the other side. All right, get ready. Start giving me some hits. Oh, this. Hell.
I did that side. I didn't do it.
And you notice I put one facing that way. You notice that one's that way and that one's the other way. Your lift, I'm sure, is going to be a lot different than mine. This is an old 1982 version. Again. Again. We got any aftermarket wires?
No, I don't see anything.
Okay, give me a hit. Again. 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 One more. Okay, shake it around a little bit.
Okay.
Buddy. All right, now we strap it. Most people don't. A lot of people don't. But we do, and I use those 2-inch straps and we wrap it around and we get all stupid with it. So we're down underneath it, and here's our strap. Hook one in there, hook one in up there, just a little bit to hold. I don't cinch it down too tight. Honestly, on a crew cab, I'm sure you don't even need it. It'll stay all day, but it takes 2 minutes to put it on, and I've never dropped a cab, so let's hope we can continue that streak. We're just gonna find out in real time if we forgot anything.
I have the camera, so you guys gonna see what I see.
How's that HVAC box? It's way close. Oh, we're good. Make sure that stays up. The next one is the e-brake and the transmission shift cable. Make sure those don't get caught on something. You think we got it? I always do this. Shake it around. That'll rub too a lot right there.
And normally there's like 4 of us here, but
Yeah. We're doing this all. Stand back, come back. Well, let's do it.
watching, I checked the back earlier.
I normally go real slow till the lift hits the first click. Take my time like I'm doing right now. We ain't in a freaking hurry. It looks like we got everything though. That's pretty cool. Now, before we get too carried away, let's make sure the lift is still. It's a little late for that now. It's 4 feet in the air, but make sure the feet look like they're. keep that power wash. There's too many steps involved to try to put it all in one video. I mean, there it is. So we're on step, I said in the last video, there's like 17,567 steps. We're on now step 4,600 and something. Right? That's about where we're at. So from that point, well, let's do it. Okay. Where my boots at? So we did forget something. Forgot to get the grill out of the way. You know what? It doesn't even need bolts in it. It'll be fine right there. It's good. At least it's out of the way. We'll bolt it later.
Truck that the cab comes off of gets this one. It's loud, it's deep, dust gets everywhere, dirt, grime. But we're headed home after this, so we move stuff out of the way. So you know what it is. I mean, maybe it helps if you took it to the car wash or, I don't know, drove it in the rain. Not too dirty. A little bit of rust. Way worse. This is actually pretty clean. We got this for a while. We'll run out of hot water and he'll keep going. And normally he cleans the floor too, but really it's too dirty. We have a nice job. Didn't mess it up. We also clean it up. Try not to track the dirt and the oil and the grease everywhere.
This is still the same day we started on.
Yeah. So we clean it up. When he's done making a mess there and there, all of this gets clean. So, like I said earlier, normally there's a lot more people here. So, trying to squeegee and swap hoses and cords and record.
Alright, we're done for right now, power washing. Squeegee the floor up. If we don't clean it up and keep the floor clean, then when you wind up with footprints all over the place from the nasty crap that we just power washed. So we spend a lot of time cleaning the floor. But we also, I don't like tracking it all over the place. So we're almost done for the day. It's 7 o'clock at night. And I put it on as thick as I can, and we did not do any prep other than power washing. So, if this paint is horrible and it pisses you off and it makes you mad as all get out, then just power wash it off. It's really not that good of paint anyways. But when I put the lights up, it lets me see the job. You don't crawl under here and look at this all the time, do you? Oh, if you do, then that's the guy. If you do, then that's the guy that we'll paint it a different color for, because he crawls under his truck. But right now, I'm just coating it. I've said it a million times. See all that rust right there? This is a good looking truck. It's cleaned off, just clean. And I'm gonna cake this on there, so.
That little light right there doubles as both under hood and under cab.
This light was expensive. It
It actually was. And we put our 2 ratchet straps up there. We have one in the front and one in the back.
Tie that up a little bit.
Sits like that.
Put the zip tie right in the middle. See that? So it doesn't touch the LEDs, so the LEDs are not. Of course, that light is disgusting.
And fix this one.
Right there. Because once the cab goes up, it doesn't move at all.
Oh. Cab is painted.
Now we'll put it on the lock. And we'll do this. This is really nice, guys. Why don't you just hang out for a minute? You'll see the benefits of what we did. That whole day that we spent so we could work on this truck. We got this.
Oh yes.
We started it.
We've done this for a long time. It used to be tables.
I think it was cardboard for like one job.
Yeah, cardboard. And then I think we used a table a couple times.
And now I'm superstitious. You have to put the table from the driver's side. You just have to. It has to go on the driver's side. If you put it on from the passenger side, the whole world's gonna break loose. So don't do that.
So the table goes up.
Look at this. Now, this is how we build it.
Flip on the lights.
Relax all your lines. Do that quick. Don't let it sit. Relax them if they're gonna drip. I hope they don't drip, but if they do, they do. Get them all relaxed. We're done for the day, but I'm gonna relax all this. How many times are you gonna say relax? I'm gonna say it until it's relaxed. Oh, there it goes. I knew it was gonna happen. Should have plugged it. I won't relax that little bastard.
Power steering line. And yeah, look. Made a mess. And
What, man? I didn't make no mess.
he'll clean it up.
So now, we have Julie. Julie's right. We've been doing this for a long time, and we've played with it. It was 10 years ago. We thought about building an engine live on video all the time, and now, I mean, we've been doing that for a decade now. All our engines have been live, but we have yet to look at this. I mean, when you take the cab off, you can see all kinds of stuff very, very easily. You can fix it. Where was I at? Where was I going?
That we've been doing this live for 10 plus years.
Oh yeah, but we have yet to actually show. Now, granted, we're just now done. It's 8 o'clock now. 8 o'clock at night. We started at about 11.
Yeah.
Maybe
We got
12,
here about
with
10.
With an hour or two of just BS in there. Not much. So, I mean, people always ask, how long does it take to raise a cab? Well, it depends. Do you want to just raise a cab? Just get it out of there and leave everything all nasty? Or do you want to produce a job site that you can sit and actually kind of enjoy what you're doing? That's how I looked at it. Now, let me know if you guys agree. Because it's not too bad. I mean, you know, customers always come here, and I can just sit right here because I don't really want to go doing a bunch of work on the truck when my mind is somewhere else. Now, tearing it apart, that's one thing. It's fine, we can tear it apart. But if customers are here, you know, we got a little spot we can hang out. It's always this nice shiny engine under there. The frame's gonna be all beautiful. Everything will be all new. And it's a good spot to, it's not a bad gig, I guess. At times it gets tough, but it's not a bad gig. I'm pretty, right? Welcome to my office. All right, we just took the cab off. We flushed the coolant, right? Remember the coolant's clean? It's clean. And cab off. What are we gonna do next? What are we gonna do next?
Take the heads off. Take the engine out. We're doing lifters.
I don't think I'm gonna make a video on that on this truck. Unless you guys say that you wanna see it. If you guys comment, I mean, I'm probably just, I might do a couple of edits on this, maybe, Julie, right?
Maybe a couple.
Not many. I'm not gonna touch it very much. I'm just gonna
I'll be
point.
honest, guys, this is the first time I've really helped him record. Minus walk around videos where he's outside, but getting this detailed, it was a little tough.
We made this video. Yeah, we went through and made it. And I think, boy, I hope we hit all the spots. I think we hit every single step. So what we can wind up doing is counting how many steps there are. And I'm gonna, I guess I could keep recording this, but that's a pain in the butt. But it really didn't take that long. I mean, it's a couple hours.
No, normally I'll say without having to record anything, Anthony and I can knock this job out in about 3 to 4 hours. Depending on how much aftermarket stuff there is to mess with. And
knock this job out.
Yeah,
We're
this
talking
one-
power washed and painted and lights up and
Yeah.
clean and look around. The shop is clean. I mean, I could lay on the floor now.
and then we
except
see something like that. So then we're probably going to need a pick'em harness. That's a bummer.
Okay. That's it. How to raise a cab. I don't know how long the video is, but this is how we do it. If you watch this, hopefully you enjoy it. If you're getting ready to jump through this endeavor and you buy it, you just bought a lift and you're going to do it. Hopefully you can go buy this and you don't wind up with a power steering line bent up or
a cab mount completely sprung.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
we didn't even show that. They didn't take the bolt out. There's a lot more too that we will do. Paint the frame, engine out. There's a procedure.
That's all painted, lights up, tables up.
So once it's all clean, pretty much that's how we raise a cab here. We could do more. We could probably do less. But if I can't clean everything all up and actually work on something that's not disgusting, I don't think I want to do it, you know? Would you guys? You know, I mean, honestly, this is like playground fun. I feel like I can't believe y'all pay me for this.